Both of them doing all they can. Here comes a Shirelius followed by an ultimate, and the huge juke from 420 Weebu Slayer gets him out of danger, at least for the time being. He has to realize Tristana is on his tail over here, more than likely Shadow over the wall. He needs to flash, and Tristana follows him. Here comes the Shadow finally, and using so much cooldowns, 420 is happy to get away there and walk away slowly. And now we have red team converging on the blue team here, trying to get to the final Rift Herald before it goes down. Gracie using his Turbo Chem Tank. What up, everyone? It's BCawk here today, and we have a phenomenal game on EU West to present to y'all. Looking at each team here, we have a pretty star-studded cast when it comes to both blue and red team. As per usual, some one-trick ponies making their way all the way up to Challenger, but our premier player today is going to be looking at Jankos, whatever you want to call him, in the jungle playing Lillia. Arguably one of the best, if not the best jungler in the world right now on G2 Esports. If you've been keeping up with LEC and the mid-season invitational or mid-season tournament that's happening right now, you'll notice that they actually just dropped down to losers brackets. So interested to see how he'll play here. Lillia is one of his most played champions throughout the split and in solo queue, so I expect him to do well. On his team as well, we have our Jonah Flacon, also known as Humanoid, for the Mad Lions. Mad Lions is already in the finals for the LEC mid-season tournament. It's a little bit awkward considering he's on the same team as Jankos right now. They're obviously the team that dropped G2 into the lower bracket, beat them 3-1 recently. So it should be pretty interesting to see them work together here. More than likely them combining forces against a less star-studded red team will prove well for them. Xayah in the bot lane for blue team. I'm not even going to try to attempt to say her name. We'll refer to her as Xayah, or her true name when it comes to pro play, and that is Bushy for Goskilla, a professional team in Denmark. Typically plays bot lane, so she's on roll down there. Excited to see how she performs. First game casting her. Rakan, also a name I will not try to pronounce in this cast today. Similarly is a pro player as well. He is a sport player for the Win Esports. His pro name is Feedarias. It's a Portuguese team that he's playing on, so potentially a little bit less known than some of these other teams that we have in this game, like Mad Lions and G2, but definitely another up-and-comer we want to keep our eyes on. Finally, on the blue team, we have Orne or the Vayne in the top lane. Off role right now, a challenger player. Couldn't find anything else on her besides the fact that she is typically playing middle and jungle and has a pretty good resume when we look at her playing both middle and jungle. Unfortunately, she looks like she was auto-filled into the top lane, but more than likely, and hopefully with the star-studded cast that she has on her team of pro players, she'll still be able to come out ahead here in the end. Moving on to the red team, and who do we have on here? First and foremost, we see Zed, 420 Weebu Slayer, and how can you not love a player with that type of name? He is a Zed one-trick pony. I cannot find any previous pro experience from him, but this season he does have over 500 games played as Zed with around a 53% win rate on this account. So pretty versed in the champion. Excited to see him play in the mid lane, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. In the top lane against that Vayne. He should be able to basically one-shot her once it comes to level 6. So more than likely that won't be the favorable lane that Orne was hoping for against him. Gracie Abrams, I said Gravy Abrams. Gracie Abrams 1 is probably my favorite story in this whole cast right now. He is a jungler for Supermassive Academy. He's known as his pro name 113 or 113. And the most fascinating thing about him is that he is actually only 16 years old, challenger player, very high win rate, and I'm sure more than anything, he's very excited to go against Jankos in the jungle this game and prove that age doesn't matter here. He typically favors Lillia when he's playing in solo queue, but this game, as we can see, he is playing Udyr, and that's not too big of a concern for him considering he has a 66% win rate on the champion. Elite 500 is also our other one-trick pony in this game. Grandmaster Vlad, over 300 games played and a 54% win rate as Vlad this season. Keep an eye out for him. Dark Wizard 1. As we see on the Xayah this game. Bot lane for SK Prime. His pro name is known as Unforgiven. Pretty versatile AD player in basically any AD carry he wants to play. He doesn't really have a bunch of games on one carry this season, and overall he has a 59% win rate in solo queue. Yukii Tsunoda, challenger support player. Can't find any pro history from him, but he does typically favor engaged supports. We're looking at Alistar and Rel. So he should be right at home with Gragas, who has been working his way more and more into the meta towards the bot lane. So let's get right into the game with this star-studded cast. And again, let's keep a close eye on this jungle matchup between the 16-year-old up-and-comer known as 113, or in this game, Gracie Abrams 1, against the almost all-American, against the all-world jungler Jankos, the G2 Prodigy that has already made a name for himself. Let's get in there. Moving into the game here, we're already going to see people moving into their respective lanes. We have 3 AD carries on the blue team, which more than likely won't play super well for them. It's a good thing that Jankos went Lillia this game, considering that his team is so heavily favored with AD carry and attack damage that he basically needed to go a AP focused jungler. Vayne in the top lane, Tristana in the mid is more than likely going to build AD, and then also we have the Xayah in the bot lane. So 2 great AD carry choices. Instead of finding their way in bot lane, we're actually found in top and middle. And so all you individuals saying, oh no, AD carries, they're so bad even in season 2021. They're clearly not that bad, because while we're in challenger play, we see 3 of them on one team. I'm interested to see how Jonah will play against Elite 500 on that one-trick Vlad in the middle lane. It could be a little bit difficult for Vlad early on, because Tristana is such a big lane bully that even though he has that sustained ability to use his transmog and heal up, right? It's more than likely still not going to be enough, and we already see Jonah making his way and cutting off Elite 500 right here, getting off, it looks like a full E charge onto him, bringing him down to already 200 health, continuously poking him, and Elite's going to try to look for any poke back and try to get some health there, but even with that, already brought down to 100, and he'll be able to heal up a little bit here. Moving to the bot lane, we see Rakan already doing Rakan things and getting a quick double knock-up on his enemy laners there and getting some decent harass, a clearly easy win for them on the blue team in the bot lane. And that you always got to be worried about that against a level 1 Rakan. You know he's automatically going to go for the knock-up. And if he gets both of you, it's going to be an easy win for that trade. So he's zoning them out again. We see that he has his Q, or his W, excuse me, his knock-up on about a 1-second cooldown, so they need to be careful here on red team once more, because more than likely he is ready to go right back in, especially once they hit that level 2 power spike. 420 Weeboo Slayer, we've been seeing have some issues in the top lane already against this Vayne, but again, as I mentioned in our pre-game chat, more than likely he will have some issues, considering, again, melee versus ranged in that top lane. Until he hits around level 6, it can just pop that Vayne legitimately every 60 seconds. And immediately, we see Gracie, the 16-year-old Prodigy, making his way to the top lane and just destroying the Vayne, while another fight is happening in the bottom lane. A great double stun came off from SK Prime's Unforgiven on that Xayah down there, but not enough to really do any more follow-up damage. It's all the burst she's going to have. So we'll more than likely continue to see some additional fights happening, but already 1 kill going over to Udyr on that 16-year-old Prodigy who's playing for, what's his team again? Supermassive Academy, 113. Moving his way in. Very excited to see that he's already found the easy kill, because if anybody I want to see go off this game, it's him. Woo! Zed just did a pretty easy WEQ combo to Vayne there and took her down about 60% health. A double knockup is hit again by Rakan, followed by a great double stun from the Xayah, but again, Gracie Abrams, or 113, is down here to try to save his team. He'll flash in and E the Xayah, as well as chase after the Rakan right now. Will they have enough? I'm sure Bear Stance is up soon enough, but the body slam from Gragas will do enough there. And now Vayne is being pushed out from top lane with an Ignite from Weeboo Slayer, followed by Jankos finally entering the fray and entering his enemy team's lanes. He goes here and gets an auto attack with red buff, flashes in and uses his Q, and that will be enough burn damage from both red buff and the Lillia passive to bring down Weeboo Slayer. After Weeboo felt like he was in such a comfortable spot, Jankos goes in there and just frustrates. The worst thing you want to see is top lane. You're winning your lane, and then all of a sudden jungle pops in there out of nowhere. But honestly, you got to see, looking at the top lane of the map right here on the bottom right, all this ward coverage happening from blue team, who is almost asking for it with having none of his own. So great plays, 2-3 currently on the scoreboard. Both of our jungles making most of the good plays here. 1 kill on Jankos, 3 already on 113 or Udyr on Gracie Abrams. So he's already in a beautiful spot to scale. Udyr has seen some nerfs recently, and coupled with that was the nerf as well with Turbo Chem Tank. So I think that's all going to be basically negated when we see that he already has 3 kills within 5 minutes on this team. And now Vlad's moving in on Jonah, who's been very dominant recently. I don't think Elite's going to have enough unless he gets off one more auto attack on him. Jankos is also making his way to the mid lane to hopefully try to finish this off, but he doesn't have much of backup here. Any from his team, a Q and a W. Vlad does not have pool, and 2 auto attacks almost takes Jankos down, but it won't be enough. He's going to have to run through turrets and run away from Udyr, who looks to be on the hunt for him right now in the jungle, but he'll get away thanks to that teleport coming out from Tristana as well. Vayne Det Orne Ogamig is also pushed once again in the top lane, and here comes Udyr to try to get off one more gank, but he'll find that pink ward in the brush up there and then easily walk away. Bot lane now again. Oh, did we just see what happened there? Let's go back real quick. It's a bad habit of mine to go back so often, but let's just see what happened here, because this is what Yukii Tsunoda has been trying to do the whole bot lane experience. Rakan's going to try to go in and get this knock up, and before the animation completes, he's going to get the body slam up, which just negates the knock up completely. That's a lot of the reason why we see so many people picking Gragas into engaged supports, things like Rel, things like even Alistar, if you're able to time it well enough, is that body slam is going to shut down so many of those very important support moves that'll help you engage, that he turns out to be a pretty great counter support while even offering you the ability to engage yourself with that ultimate with the body slam, and offering so much damage too. I'm interested to see if the Gragas is going to end up going damage or he'll end up going tank. But while this is happening, we see 3 in the bottom lane trying to chase after Dark Wizard, and Ignite coming off on Jankos, but here comes the Udyr, two levels behind, excuse me, but still ends up netting the kill with some help from his team and a bear stance hit. And here comes the rest of the red team trying to move onto this bot lane. A slow from a Gragas barrel is not going to be enough, because we don't want to make the mistake of diving too deep on this bot turret. And more than likely, after killing Jankos, and then, oh no, good flash body slam comes in to finish up the Xayah in the bot lane, and then here comes the dive that was pre-foreseen. Hopefully a turtle stance will save Udyr. It won't, and now Rakan's just going to sit under turret, but eventually die to Xayah's burst damage, nerfed by the way. That's a nerf champion right there. And red team will walk away happy, eventually netting 3 kills for 2. Which is still an overall win, but unfortunately with them being so low and not having a jungler any longer in Gracie in the bot lane with them, they're not going to be able to secure that Wind Dragon. In a quick momentary pause from the action there, we'll see Weebu pushing into turret and getting a plate in the top lane, and again Jonah going aggressive on Elite 500 in the mid lane here. Weebu Slayer's trying to burst down Jankos, but he's having some additional help, and Jonah eventually is going to die to this Vlad. So more auto attacks, just like we saw previously in the mid lane. And meanwhile, we're going to need to go back in a second here, and by second I mean right now, because we would love to see what happened to this poor Zed, as he was trying to back originally, minding his own business. Doesn't get spotted, I don't think. Apparently does get spotted by that scrying orb, and makes the choice to go in. Gap closes with his shadow to Jankos and is trying to now just run away, but he sees the scuffle happening in the mid lane, so he tries to burst down Jankos, but it's not going to happen. 2 deaths now for that Zed, and we rejoin Gracie and Elite 500 here, camping out this brush and trying to kill out the Rakan, but unfortunately Elite 500 was just so low from that previous battle with Tristana that he's going to go down so quickly. But some backup from the Gragas support here, and now Udyr chasing down the Rakan and the Lillia as well, and Jankos will eventually go down. They're getting so close, I'm going to have to keep following with my mouse to try to keep up with this, and potentially this is going to turn into a triple kill for the Udyr after taking out both Rakan and Lillia, and then finally the Vayne as well. Oh no. So what was previously a 3-0 Udyr now turns into a 7-1, and 1-1-3 or Gracie Abrams on Udyr is going to show why he is potentially going to be such a force to reckon with as he continues to age and get older and move through his pro career. Keep an eye on this Udyr, man, because I'm already seeing great things from him. His positioning is phenomenal. He knows where to be on the map. And even that play where they were just sitting in the bush is great. A nice EW almost catches the Vlad in the mid lane from Rakan, but he's just going to have to walk away there. Good job playing around vision, but too fast of reactions coming out from that one-trick pony Vlad in the mid lane. Looks like Gragas is going to try to get off something similar here if he has his Hex Flash available. But no, it looks like red team may just end up looking for Dragon. And here comes Jonah one more time, bursting down Vlad in the mid lane. It's not going to be enough. He'll have a reset on his W, so he'll be safe to get out of there. But Udyr, once again, is making his way into a nice tri-bush flank in the bot lane. But Jankos has seen this coming and immediately counter ganks here. But Xayah has fallen so low. Jankos flashes in and gets the sleep off on Gracie, who eventually goes down thanks to that extra burst damage. And now the 2v3, it's going to be an easy battle for the blue team. And another double knockup from Rakan, and again a beautiful stun from the Xayah is going to end up netting overall four kills thanks to that Tristana bomb eventually going to blow up there. Holy cow, great stuff. Will anybody at any point have enough health to finally, after one of these battles, go get a dragon? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. And now we're looking towards top lane. We see that Weebu Slayer, even though he has that additional wave push to turret right here, is 2 levels ahead of Orne Olgamig. Again, a challenger player who is typically playing mid lane and jungle. So we foresaw this happening in the top lane. The fact that more than likely this Vayne's going to have a tough time once that Zed hits level 6. And it's really coming to fruition at this point. She's almost 40 far behind. She's 2 levels behind. And even though Zed also has 2 deaths, it looks like none of that benefit has actually transferred into the Vayne in the top lane. It's all gone to Jankos on that Lillia in the jungle, who has 5 kills. Here comes Rakan with an ultimate flash and a W to catch Dark Wizard out all by himself. And while that's happening, once again, a Jankos ult is coming into the top lane. The camera just doesn't know what to do at this point. He gets pinned 420 Weebu Slayer into the wall by Vayne, and the Jankos gets a 6th kill down there. And while that's happening, Udyr is flanking the Tristana in the middle behind her turret to finally net that kill. It does look like Xayah was able to get away in the bot lane. Again, Unforgiven for SK Prime there. And then Jankos moves into the mid lane just to finish up that additional farm that he doesn't want to fall to turret. Xayah needs to be careful down here. Flashes the Gragas barrel to safety, and still more than likely needs to be careful. You have to realize after Gragas used that barrel that more than likely something else is coming your way, and here it is. You got Gracie Abrams coming in to get that bear stance off on Xayah, and then easily take her down with the additional burst from the Xayah. Clearly a superior AD carry, not in skill, but just overall win rate. And here comes Jankos once more, gets a singular ult off on Gragas, and they end up leaving him alone. But that teleport from Vayne will more than likely finish him off, while Jankos and Rakan try to finish up this Xayah as well. And I do believe... Did she get away? Did that Gragas get away? Let's stick on Gragas real quick. Gragas hits a nice barrel, and we assumed Vayne with her passive was able to catch up, but he flashes out of her vision range. And that lets them go ahead and walk away. And with all those kills, or that singular kill, and all that damage being done to red team, it looks like blue team will finally be able to net this first dragon. Here comes Elite 500 to try to do something about it, but a decent amount, I don't want to say so much, a decent amount of damage coming out from Vayne will end up pushing him out. And finally, Jankos and Rakan, the 2 buddies there on dragon, will get the first dragon for blue team at 11 minutes and 50 seconds, almost 12 minutes into the game. We could almost be at 3 dragons at this point, but so much fighting has been happening. And through, again, the most powerful lane, quote unquote, both these junglers, both Udyr and Jankos just running this game right now. Most of the gold on the team on both of them. Here comes another dive onto this Vayne in the top lane. And with Udyr being so tanky, already having that chem tank as well as plated steel caps, and Zed being able to just sit there under turret and auto attack him and use his abilities, that's going to be a 3rd kill onto Vayne. And unfortunately, just as it's been going, no kills going over to the top lane. And here that kill is going to be donated over to Udyr once again, pushing him to 9 kills within 12 minutes of the game. Almost netting himself a kill per minute at this point, and he's going to be the one that we have to worry about going forward. Looks like Rakan's trying to do some cheeky business in the bot lane. Another ultimate comes up, and Jankos is behind enemy lines down here, not even being auto-attacked by the turret. Rakan's going to tank it for most of the time. It looks like we have some split going down here. Gragas going down to the Xayah, but at the whole time there, Dark Wizard was going untouched by the DPS. He will eventually go down to Tristana, but his stun comes off onto this Udyr, who's going to end up finishing the job here, netting himself another double kill, and 2 additional kills also going over to the Xayah will mean a 4-for-2 trade for the red team. So unfortunate for them Jankos doing all he can, a pretty solid play, but he was just ready, that Udyr. A great condemn comes off from the Vayne to save her life as Zed popped in under the turret once more. If she didn't save that condemn, she would more than likely be dead here, and that top turret would be gone. So that will at least deny one plate from the Zed in the top lane, but overall he is still just so far ahead. We could more than likely say that he, even though they're both 0-3 in that top lane, being 60 farm ahead means that he's more than likely around 2 kills ahead on that Zed in overall gold. And while we're talking about it, let's just check out the gold on our screen right here. The overall gold that we see between all of our lanes in the game right now is just pretty much heavily favoring the red team. Oh no, sorry, let me go back real quick because I was just so focused on looking at gold numbers here that I wasn't able to catch the fact that we have our bot lanes both moved to the middle lane now that we're around mid-game here. Tristana chilling out on a turret by herself, gets invisibilityed on by Dark Wizard and just bursted down so quickly. Nerf champion once again. A great body slam, tries to stop the Rakan, but it's not going to be enough. Jankos is there to back him up, and so much damage coming out from the Lillia now that she has 9 kills on her total, is trying to compete with 113 or Gracie Abrams on the Udyr. But even with those 2 kills, we're still so far behind on the red team, or excuse me, on the blue team overall. Still about, we were about 2k gold behind, but now a little bit more even at around 1k less. So blue team's hanging in there for sure. I need more kills and this Vayne to catch up before she's just completely useless to her team. And the other issue here is that we have 2 really tanky champions on the red team in both Udyr and the Gragas to soak up a lot of that attack damage, and they'll only have to build into 1 resistance. Gracie's thinking about going in 2v1, but a nice stun that comes out from the Xayah will go ahead and stop him in his tracks until he sees Elite 500 coming down here as well. Rakan flashes over the wall. I do not believe that's going to be enough damage from the Vlad to finish him off unless Xayah hits her skill shot on him as well, and then eventually Rakan does go down, so another kill going over to the red team. We don't have Dragon for another minute and a half, and all that while Tristana, the murderer of turrets here, is doing as much as she can to try to burst that down. Here comes Zed, who again has only 1 kill, but even that, he's able to kill the Tristana, level 11 to level 9, I believe Jonah was on that mid lane. And here comes, once again, Jankos to the bot lane. Dark Wizard thought he could step on that Xayah, but unfortunately he was not able to. Unforgiven steps a little bit too deeply there. We saw how much burst damage he had previously once he bursted down. Who was our Tristana playing in the mid lane again? I apologize. When he bursted down, boop, 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 boop. Humanoid for Mad Lions. Thank you, Brian's notes. When he bursted down Humanoid for Mad Lions previously, just about 2 minutes ago. But even that, with Jankos having such great movement around the map, it's not going to matter as soon as he makes his way there. Rakan needs to be a little bit careful here. He's 3v1 and he doesn't know, but enough damage might just come out for him. It does. The Ignite and the Knockup and the Ultimate is enough to finish off the Zed by himself, but he gets the shutdown without any other help from his team. Jankos is now here to back him up and eventually gets the kill on Gracie, and then finally Tristana as well comes in and finishes off the Gragas. So now we're still within that 1k threshold of gold that we've been through the past couple of minutes here, and blue team is trying to hang on. What's really interesting is that we have about 12 seconds until Dragon comes up and about 15 seconds of respawn time for the majority of red team at this moment. So I'm interested to see will blue team get a Dragon and switch some of that overall macro power into their hands. We're about to find out right now because Jankos is making his way over to the Dragon immediately. He doesn't see the red ward that's in his brush across the wall from his red buff, but he does spot the one on the little bush in the middle of the river here. Does he ultimate there? Did he just ultimate there, that Vlad? Sorry, fam. Curious to see if he does pop his ultimate here to threaten. He does. Is that on cooldown? He does. Ooh, so really big cooldown not available for Jankos for this potentially upcoming Dragon fight. We see 3 people rushing down mid for red team, but it's not quick enough for the blue team to be able to take down that tier 1 turret. Evening up turrets now 2 for 2 for each team. And now gold is basically 1 for 1, where I have the exact same gold here. Flacon needs to be careful, Humanoid needs to be careful on this Tristana to not die to Dark Wizard as he has just previously, but there he goes, that huge burst damage coming out from Xayah, the Nerf champion, eventually is able to take him out. Now Jankos is getting in his own jungle battle here, the people with all the money is getting backup from both supports, and then now we have Vlad catching out the Xayah, thank you guys, Vlad catching out the Xayah on the Dragon, and now we have 2 people down for blue team. Very unfortunate, because previously we were just talking about how blue team had such a great opportunity to take their first dragon, is now going to give it up, or excuse me, their second dragon is now going to give it up to the red team. And now evening up dragons 1-for-1. Gold has basically diminished back into the red team's favor. But overall, pretty even game. Jankos is coming in here. He more than likely has the ultimate up already, and he's trying to chase down this bot lane. Misses the seed, but he gets the flash, followed up by the double ultimate, and this 3v2 battle is easily going to go in favor of the blue team, evening up that gold once again. Here comes Zed onto this poor lonely island Vayne in the top lane, ending up netting that kill as well. And Zed's now doing the terrible, unfortunate thing for blue team, which is going to be split pushing on that turret, where it really looks like not anyone can match him. Xayah's going to go up there and attempt to. But again, if he gets his ultimate and Xayah does not have hers, he's just going to be able to continuously push that turret. I don't know if there's really anybody who can match this Zed right now while he has his ultimate available to him. So much going for each team. They're playing this matchup phenomenally. Both of them doing all they can. Here comes a Shirelius followed by an ultimate, and the huge juke from 420 Weebu Slayer gets him out of danger, at least for the time being. He has to realize Tristana's on his tail over here. More than likely Shadow over the wall. He needs to flash, and Tristana follows him. Here comes the Shadow finally, and using so much cooldowns, 420 is happy to get away there and walk away slowly. And now we have red team converging on the blue team here, trying to get to the final Rift Herald before it goes down. Gracie using his Turbo Chem Tank gets off the stun finally on the Tristana on the mid lane, followed by Vlad ultimate, but then Gracie goes down himself, 3v1, going a little bit too deep there, trading 1-for-1. Nobody will end up getting that Rift Herald. It will be down in about 15 seconds here. And Vayne feeling confident even with Zed being down so low. He eventually uses the Prowler's Call and just deletes her. Again, she has no chance. And here comes Jankos using his ultimate in the middle lane. Steps a little bit too far. Is going to end up using his Zonias, but nobody's there to back him up at this point. And he will give his shutdown over to Vlad, this scaling monster that we do not want to see any kills go to in the mid lane. And with that, we see pings coming out from the red team. The newly spawned Baron is now available, and with 3 members down for the blue team. After this game was so close, all those small little scuffles that just happened allow the red team to more than likely just pop in here and easily take this Baron completely uncontested. This Kaisa is going to do so much damage alongside this Zed that it's going to go down in pretty much less than 30 seconds at this moment. And now what was looking like such a close game, the Baron has now turned over to the red team, and with that gold favor and with that pushing power, I think there's a statistic out there that says the first Baron captured, regardless of what game you're in, that team will win 70% of the time. So now blue team is fighting against that. Of course, they have a lot of the tools to fight against red team, as we've already seen through previous team fights. But again, this Vayne really needs to come online at some point. I don't want to put all the blame on the Vayne, because of course our other lanes could be performing better as well, but she is having really low impact when it comes to hopefully just matching the Zed in the top lane or even being within team fights. Prowler's Call ultimate. There goes the Vayne once again, as I'm explaining how much of a detriment she's been this game. And here comes Rakan using a W and ultimate, trying to get it off on 2 people. Another stun comes off on the support of Gragas, but Vlad has so much damage that he's able to burst down basically anything that's in his way. Gracie's going to try to come in and solo kill Humanoid from the mid lane one more time. This might be his 9th death if he's not careful. And yes, Tiger Stance will do so much damage over time alongside that burn from Phoenix that once again Humanoid on Tristana will fall. Additional picks trying to be made from this Gragas here. That is the power, but a great W from Rakan will get him out of harm's way. And now we have a nice 1-4 split happening from red team. Udyr is more than likely going to be the only one besides, again, Zed, who can easily split push. And so many turrets are going to fall here. Mid tier 2 turret goes down. Top tier or bottom tier 2 turret goes down. We're just waiting for top tier 2 already went down. But, oh my gosh, Gragas goes a little bit too deep and gets ulted up by Jankos here. Holy cow, look at that Vlad damage. Jankos might fall down unless we get a 4v1 on this. Vlad Zed is able to take out the AD carry 1v1 because they keep letting him just sit alone on the blue team. And now red team somehow flips this fight as well, and ultimate comes out from Kaisa, who ends up bursting down Vayne again for her 8th death. And will that be, with 4 members down on the blue team, really the end of this all? More than likely, red team could go ahead and continuously push here. I don't like the backs that we're seeing in the mid lane because we could probably see another 1 or 2 turrets go down with 4 members of the blue team being down. They more than likely, though, want to heal up before this dragon is coming up in about 15 seconds. We want to make sure we push that overall macro game. And so after retreating right there, we're going to see all of them make their way to that dragon. Well, blue team more than likely has no opportunity to fight this right now, and they really shouldn't. It's a mountain dragon. They should more than likely just kind of chill out here. But what it looks to be happening after that random Rakan ult is that the game has been surrendered from blue team, and our star-studded cast that looked so promising from the beginning of the game unfortunately lost that game, not only to the phenomenal team play and the scaling Vlad that was on red team over here, but really the great play from the Udyr player. Gracie Abrams won in the game, or 1-1-3. Again, he is the jungler for, we're going to cut this out, the jungler for Supermassive Academy, only 16 years old, playing against more than likely somebody he's been watching play League of Legends in a long time in Jankos, and really was carrying the team there for a lot of the early game. But you got to throw it up to really everybody that played on red team. Although Zed had such a tough early game, he was able to really scale into the late game once he hit that level 6 and really completely make Vayne useless. Similarly, in the bot lane, we really saw Dark Wizard 1, also known as Unforgiven for SK Prime, able to get singular picks with that surprise Kaisa burst damage out of nowhere. And being a support player myself, let's just throw it up for Yukii Tsunoda also. Playing Gragas, not the most played champion, at least when we come to history of the champion, but making a name for himself. Gragas is in both pro play and high elo. Really excited to see him play well on that champion, and really excited to have this crazy cast that ended up being about 60 kills in 23 minutes where I really had no time to talk. So if y'all liked this, thanks for tuning in and making it to the end. Let me know who or what you'd like to see next in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, go ahead and stick around. I will be analyzing, shout out to Yukii Tsunoda, right, the top Gragas support, and seeing how they do the things they do coming up next here. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Have a great day or night or whatever it is for y'all. Peace.